Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. We have live, in the flesh, real, in the same airspace, musicians this morning. So I want to welcome you from wherever you're tuning in, whether you're here in the room, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Zoom, or whether you're on Facebook. And we are going to get this party started with our first two community songs. Here we go.
Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. 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 Oh, I used to think that I had to. Used to think that I should. The scripture had told me that I had to be good. But now I love cause I want to. Love cause I am free. Guided by the Spirit, oh Lord. The Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, 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 I don't need any pride and I don't need any law. I want to sing with all my heart. God is my all and all and all. I let go of my burden. Loving God has made me free. Guided by the Spirit. Oh Lord, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, 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 how about a little guitar? Thought it was my duty, thought it was my job. Somewhere I believed that loving God would be hard. But loving God is wonderful, loving God is ecstasy. I thank God for my freedom. Let me tell you, Lord, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Yes, it is now. Oh, Spirit of God is upon me. Oh, the Spirit of God is upon me. Oh. All right. We got another Ricky Byers song. It's a chant. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside my mind, God, and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God, and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God, and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God, and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside my heart, God, and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God, and only God I live to see. Peace inside my heart, God, and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God, and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside the earth, God, and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God, and only God I live to see. Peace inside the earth, God, and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God, and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om.
So, what none of you can see is a very busy Dell clicking through each of those verses that you're seeing on this live stream is a separate slide. And because we have the musicians live in the room this morning, we have the added wrinkle of switching microphones from the system that I use to the system in room that is picking up the musicians, and they are doing a fabulous job right out of the gate. So we are so grateful. So again, if you've joined us while we were singing, welcome to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Rafe Ellis, and I am so honored and privileged to be the senior minister here at Sierra Center. So let me share with you, our guests, who we are, and remind us of who we are. I'm getting back in the habit of scanning the room because for a year there's been no one in the room to see. Building new habits. So we are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the very diversity of creation. We strive to live authentic spiritual lives through a practical application of the teachings of science of mind. We engage in sacred practices that uplift our spirit, deepen our awareness, and ignite our soul's self-expression. And we demonstrate active compassion to ourselves, each other, and the world. We experience meaningful contribution through giving generously of our time, talents, and treasures, and we intentionally, on purpose, promote our community and our teachings. And if you are one of the ones joining us on live stream today, you can help us share our community and these teachings by sharing this live stream on your personal platform, whatever social media platform you're playing on, and that just makes it available if folks choose to partake. And so one of the things that we do every Sunday morning is our inclusion candle lighting ritual. And Juanita's going to help me with our candle lighting this morning. And we light these candles to celebrate the unity of all peoples, all faiths, all beings, all life. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for Taoism, honoring the path of ultimate reality, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And we light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the middle way and path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the teachings of Jesus as the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought teachings, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles, love, and law. We light the 10th candle for absolute inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome and celebrated here. And we light this final candle, honoring the infinity of oneness as all creation, seen and unseen. And so now we're going to get back to doing a little bit of singing. The words will be there on the screen for you. Lift your voice wherever you are, and let's fill this world with song. Here we go.
Get ready, my soul. I'm driving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm driving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this present moment here, to a new beginning here, and I see life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Rafe, happy now. All right, this is our time of announcements. And I just want to give us a brief, forgot to move that slide. Just real quickly, we use the same community songs all month to give everybody a chance to get to know them, to learn them, to get them in the cells of your body, so that when you're moving about the plane and something happens that rocks you a little bit in this human realm, you have a song to access. You have something in the computer to fall back on to bring you back to center. So these will be our community songs for the whole month of May. And we will be treated to the unknown for the pre-talk songs, because I pretty much leave that up to the musicians to figure that piece out. They know what I'm talking about, and between them and Spirit, they always come up with the perfect song. So, our announcements. The first thing is the Tuesday night Actualizing Wholeness discussion group. And this coming Tuesday night is our monthly discussion group. You will see in the newsletter the links to the 2 David Bohm recordings that we are using. It's not necessary that you watch them, but you might find it helpful. It's just information that sparks information in us. It's not a quiz, what did you learn, but more what came alive in you listening to these videos. And that is on Tuesday from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The Zoom link is there and the passcode, and that's also in the newsletter. Wednesday night, Ask the Rev Anything. Now that is starting to really pick up some traction. We had a pretty good group of folks interacting on Facebook this past Wednesday. And it's pretty exciting because you can give feedback and add follow-up questions in the chat there on Facebook. You can also do that on YouTube. Those are the 2 places that that's offered. We really do spin the prize wheel full of questions, and wherever it lands, that's what we talk about until there's nothing left to say about it. And then we spin it again. So that is on Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Hope you'll join us. We are open for up to 15 attendees. We have a group of bodies in here. This is the most we've had because we've got the musicians in here. And so we would love to have you join us. We do ask that you stay physically distanced, that you do wear a mask, and that you sign a release when you come in for the first time. You don't need to sign the waiver every time, and it's just a waiver acknowledging that you are aware that COVID is a thing here on planet Earth, and that being in the same space with other human beings could possibly expose you to that. Nothing really earth-shaking. We do have a platform that we're asking folks to use to sign up, the Sign Up Genius. The links to that are in the newsletter. If that is troublesome for you, don't worry about it. Send me an email. Let me know you're coming. I'll sign you up. The biggest reason for that is so we don't wind up having people show up that don't have a seat saved, and then you can't come in and sit down. So, all right. So this is our time of inward shift. And I have to get my pad so I know what I'm going to talk to you about. All right. So our value that we're looking at this morning, our community value that we're looking at this morning, is inclusion. Inclusion is a universal human right. It is our spiritual birthright. It really is the truth of creation. Here's what inclusion means to me. It means embracing all people, regardless of their individualized differences, visible or invisible, expressed or unexpressed, identified or unidentified. Inclusion in community is the practice of creating equal access for everybody. How do we do that? We do it by getting rid of all the discrimination and intolerance, literally removing the barriers that we've created against inclusion. Because as we've learned over the past couple of weeks, most of our spiritual work, if not all of it, is about removing things to reveal the truth that we've always been. Creating inclusion by giving access by exploring the importance of a welcoming environment and developing habits that create and sustain that. As a community, it's easy to slip into clickiness and become unintentionally unwelcoming. My experience of this community is it is one of the most welcoming communities I have ever experienced. Yes, people have their little groups of closeness, but my experience of this community on Sunday morning is that there really is an intentional outreach to any guests. And I just want you to know that's pretty remarkable. Not every community has that level of awareness. So thank you. And so I want to leave you with this quote to take into meditation. This is from Ralph Waldo Trine from In Tune with the Infinite. And you flip that. Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead, Del. My bad. This is a new wrinkle for both of us here. So here's the quote I want to leave you with as we go into the meditation. The life that goes out in love to all is the life that is full and rich and continually expanding in beauty and in power. Such is the life that becomes ever more inclusive and hence larger in its scope and influence. So in this place of oneness, in this attitude, in this recognition of inclusion, I recognize that there is only one infinite, ever-present allness, that all life is created out of it, by it, to be it. In one, all expressions of it must be included within itself. And so I know that I am that in form. I know that every physical expression of life is the divine in form. I know that each expression in physical form is surrounded by the invisible expression of the one. One substance, one source, one life. That life is God's Spirit, the divine, by whatever name we call it. It is our life. And so I speak my word this morning, claiming and affirming a blessing on this service. A blessing on each heart, each hand. It comes together to make it so. The technology, everyone joining from wherever they are. Oneness, inclusion, beyond time and space, unbounded. And so I surrender my humanness to be used by the one. So grateful. So grateful for this life that I get to live. For this love I get to express. For this divine oneness, wholeness, completeness, perfection that I get to embody, that I get to see and lift up in every physical expression of the divine. And so from this gratitude, I let go. I let it be. And I invite you to join me in anchoring this together as we say, and so it is. And so now we're going to do our affirmation. I will read it through once, and I invite you to just go inward and just take it in. We do it this way so that you get it in different senses in your being. With unshakable confidence, I participate fully and freely in the adventure of life. Let's read that together. With unshakable confidence, I participate fully and freely in the adventure of life. And so now, our musicians are going to do the pre-talk song.
Sometimes I feel the fear of uncertainty stinging clear, and I can't help but ask myself how much I'll let the fear take the wheel and steer. It's driven me before, it seems to have a vague, haunting mass appeal, but lately I'm beginning to find that I should be the one behind the wheel. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there.
Open arms, open eyes, yeah.
Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. So if I decide to waver my chance to be one of the hive, will I choose water over wine and hold my own and drive? Yeah, yeah. It's driven me before, and it seems to be the way that everyone else gets around. But lately I'm beginning to find when I drive myself, my light is found. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there.
Open arms, open eyes, yeah.
Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Would you choose water over wine? Hold the wheel and drive. 1, 2, 3.
New month and a new theme. The theme for May is Holy, Holy Uprising. And given our current social and political climate, it seemed prudent that I actually take the time to look up these words and see what they actually mean rather than what they may be experienced as from a different perspective. And so holy, with the W, means entirely full. Entirely full, right? Holy, with the H, whole, uninjured. And interestingly enough, pre-Christianity, it meant preserved, whole, or intact, cannot be transgressed or violated. Think about that. Something that remains whole and intact and cannot be transgressed or violated. That's a pretty powerful something. And if you go back even further with that word holy to the initial Old English and Old German, it actually means health, happiness, and good luck. So imagine a entirely full health, happiness, and good luck that cannot be transgressed or violated. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm all for that. Yes, I'll have that. Right? Uprising. This is the trigger word for these days and times, right? It actually, in the 1300s, when it first surfaced, meant the action of rising from death or the grave, resurrection. And so what if we're spending the whole month resurrecting from sleep, from death, from the grave, the reality that we have always, that we are now and have always been a holy holiness. How about we raise that up? Because when we do that, we get to experience it. As long as it's dormant, as long as it's buried, as long as it's dirt napping, we don't know it's ours and we don't experience it. So we're going to spend the month looking at that. And we're going to look at revolutionary love. We're going to look at, this is perhaps my favorite talk title of all times, This Too Is God? Say their names, and it's not what you think it is. Boldly living a new story. And this morning, we're going to talk about this adventure called life. So let's break that one down. What is life? Life is that quality of being that runs through everything, that makes it what it is. Okay? In the unconscious state, it's mineral. In the simple consciousness, and consciousness as awareness of itself. Right? In the simple consciousness, it's the animal form. In the self-conscious form, it's human. And in the cosmic consciousness, that's where the human level begins to have a realization, an understanding, an embodiment of the unity with the whole. Okay? Now, most of us relate to the word adventure as a daring and exciting activity, right? Calling for enterprise and enthusiasm. Well, did you know that the Latin root means to arrive? Yeah, I had the same. Dee went, like, look, I had the same thing when I was like, really? Because I haven't related to that word that way. But imagine, then if we relate to the word arrive in its root, the word adventure in its root form, then we're literally, this adventure called life gets to be an arrival at a state of cosmic consciousness that recognizes the wholeness of creation. Again, how cool is that? Right? To actually live from that perspective. Now, all year long, we're tying this to timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. So the evolutionary vision from our CSL Global Vision Statement that came up for me around this is we envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. Simple enough. Sounds like cosmic consciousness to me. Sounds like inclusion to me. The creative wisdom, our definition of creation. The physical universe is the manifest body of the one infinite reality. Take that in. The manifest body, not bodies, body. That means we are all an organ, a cell, a limb, however you want to relate to it. But if you think about your own body, right? You got gazillions of cells in there doing different things. We started out as one cell, right? And then those cells replicated themselves, and at some magic moment, they knew how to differentiate and become different organs. Perhaps that is the creative authority of the infinite itself that lives within your being. And that while you experience your body as yours, maybe it's just an individualized cell in the body of the one, perhaps. I personally think that's true. You get to decide what you think is true. So let me finish that. The physical universe is the manifest body of the one infinite reality. And the one infinite reality is more than the physical universe. Creation is an expression of the one infinite reality. This morning, if you get nothing else out of this message, please get that the universe depends on you showing up as you. The whole purpose of creation is what? To create. You are an individualized, never separate, but individualized, creative process infused and empowered with the authority to create. Right? Deepak Chopra says it this way. This is a participatory universe that depends for its very existence on human beings. That's how important you are. This universe depends on our participation. Now here's the good news and the bad news, and we've talked about this before. We are always creating. Thoughts are things. Like it or not, whatever you hold in your belief system, you are continuously creating that. There is no off switch. There is no, we create on Sundays and the rest of the week we take it off. No. Every belief is active in creation all the time. And so perhaps the biggest risk in adventure is being unintentional and unaware of what we're believing. Perhaps that's the greatest risk, right? Deepak Chopra goes on, and these quotes from Deepak Chopra, let me give you the context here, are from his book, You Are the Universe. So he goes on to say, there is an inner urge in our minds to grow, to expand, to break down the barriers of previous limitations, and to ever widen our experience. This persistent urge is a divine influence and irresistible force and constitutes the greatest impulse in human experience. All of those nudges, all of the ideas, all of the what if I do this, all of the wouldn't it be cool if that is all the divine nudging itself into creation in, through, and as you. And when we come together and you have a piece of the puzzle and your what if connects with my ooh, and if we had this, and then somebody else says, hey, and if we take those things and we add, then we get air balloons and we get airplanes, the Wright brothers. What happens if we add a motor to a bicycle and then put some wings on it? You get an airplane. Seriously, people, I'm not making it up. Do your homework. That's how they made an airplane. Right? That's what's available to us. Now, I know COVID has stressed humanity to the max. But I also know it is that call to something wider, something greater. While we've had this pause, are we using it to become aware of what wants to be expressed? Or are we sitting around using it to complain? Depends on the day of the week. Depends on the hour of the day. Depends on whether or not I'm trying to get tickets to the Giants game. And, you know, a $50 ticket is now $150. And then I'm not so spiritually anchored. Let's just tell the truth. When my wife wants to go out to dinner and neither one of us feels like it's safe, I lose a little spiritual footing sometimes, right? It's not about not being human. It's about remembering that our humanness is our spirituality. They're not separate. Our humanness is how God, the divine spirit, whatever word works for you, has chosen to express itself. Right? You are a on purpose, intentional, one-of-a-kind expression of a desire in the heart of God itself to know itself as you. That's who you are. Holy moly. Now, if you can't get on board with rising that up, I don't know if I can help you. That's a pretty amazing thing to be. What will it take for you to say yes to every divine holy nudge? Not to do everything, but to say yes to everything. There's a difference. When we think we have to do everything, we're living in separation. Say yes. Hold that energy. The law of attraction. Energy attracts energy like itself at the same vibration. Saying yes puts you in that vibration. Then whoever has the idea to add the wings to the bicycle shows up. Right? And then that energy held together brings in the idea of the motor. Right? Just say yes. Don't get stuck in thinking you have to do it all. Just hold the yes. Deepak Chopra goes on to say this: every day our actions exist on the cutting edge of evolution, the frontier where the mind is caught between caution and curiosity. It's okay. It's okay to be curious. It's okay to have those ideas that make you go, wait a minute. Right? If your ideas don't push you out of your comfort zone, get a bigger idea of God. It's about growing. It's about expanding. Let yourself be that. Let yourself arrive at the oneness through conscious participation in this amazing adventure called life. There is only one reality, Deepak Chopra. This is that place of arrival. Take this in. There is only one reality, not two. There is no inner and no outer. No me and you. No mind and matter. The mind has stopped conceiving of reality and now starts living it. I dare you. I dare you to have a new thought. I dare you to throw yourself into this adventure called life. Give it 5 years. If it doesn't work, I'll gladly refund your misery. God as you is magnificent. And it's just waiting to express itself. Let's take this into prayer. So recognizing that one infinite, ever-present allness, I know that wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, I am surrounded by it, immersed in it, infused by it. That it is the adventure of life. That it is living me and that I am living it. That truly there is just one life. That life is spirit. Spirit is my life. And what is true of me is true of all life. And so I simply speak a word, throwing the doors of our human mind, our brain, our human consciousness, our hearts, our awareness, our intention, wide open. Inviting that dance between curiosity and courage. One and the same. That caution simply reminds us that we're human as we say yes to being all that we came here to be. So grateful. So grateful to be used. Used in this holy, holy uprising. And so in this gratitude, I let go. I let life be life. I let God be God. I let love be love. And I let people be people. And I invite you to join me as we say together, and so it is. Let's take another breath as we shift. And so this is our time of conscious giving. If you're joining us through the virtual platform, we encourage you to give generously in accordance with how you have been spiritually fed by this time together. You can do that by going to our website, www.sierracenter.org/donate. You can also mail your contributions to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living, P.O. Box 2714, Grass Valley, California, 95945. If you're here in the room, there is an offering basket on the table over by the front door. We're not passing the basket yet until there's no invisible things we don't want to pass to one another. So we're adapting. All right, so let's say our intentional giving affirmation together, shall we? I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And so just a couple of reminders. We are open for Wednesdays and Sundays. The rest of the time, the building is still closed. You're welcome to submit prayer requests. If you're here in physical form, the prayer box is over there. The information for reaching practitioners is available on the website. It's also on the newsletter. Reach out. Practitioners are there for you and with you and are happy to hold you in prayer. You can also email me a prayer request and I will send it out to our ecclesiastical team, which is myself, Rev Lanny, Rev Madeline, and the practitioners. There's also a space on our website where anybody can submit a prayer request, and we will be happy to hold you in prayer for whatever it is that you are desiring to experience. I think that's it. So let's do our benediction. I have to remind myself of what that is because I haven't done it for quite a while. So I invite you, wherever you are, to stand, get a little blood flowing through your parts there, and let's say our call and response benediction together. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called adventure.
It is this thing called adventure.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called uprising.
It is this thing called uprising.
I know it.
I know.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I sense it.
I sense it.
Because I am it.
Because I am it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right, musicians, take us out.
Give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. I give myself be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. I give myself permission
So is it?
Yay, Valerie.